Halloween, my favorite holiday of the year, second only to Christmas. And to me, Halloween is all about the horror movies. And I love horror movies. I love the tension, the creepy atmosphere, and the scary scenes. And I'm not gonna lie, there are some things I really cannot stand, like the killer or kidnapper in the backseat cliche. Like, come on, do people really get into their cars without noticing if there's someone back there? It does not take a long time to double check and make sure there's nobody there. And a lot of movie deaths could be avoided if people look back there before getting into their car. And since we're getting the topic of avoiding death, how about we talk about how everyone in the first Scream should have survived. The movie starts with Casey Baker, ready to pop some popcorn while discussing horror movies with some stranger on the phone until he starts threatening her life. The first kill of the movie is Casey's boyfriend Steve because she answered a horror movie trivia question wrong, followed by her death after a quick chase around her house. You might not agree with me, but bear with me. First of all, why are you conversing with a stranger on the phone? What happened to stranger danger? Why not stop answering the phone? If you're being threatened, call the cops. The reason that her boyfriend is being brought up is because she's going along with the stupid horror movie conversation and she needed some motivation to answer the questions right. Hang up the phone, grab one of the knives that are in the kitchen, go to your room, lock yourself in, barricade the door, and call the cops. Billy and Stu were shown to be into all that Hollywood movie magic crap, so they probably wouldn't have killed Steve if things didn't go their way. Plus, her parents arrived not too long after, so they both could have survived. The next death in the movie was Principal Hembry. Screen producer Bob Weinstein added his death only because the script had gone 30 pages without a single murder. The principal would have survived had any of the students reported his aggressive language and actions, especially when it involves murder. Or maybe he could have called the cops on the pranksters wearing the ghost face mask. Point is that if the cops would have been involved somehow, this man would have survived since all he needed to do was to get out of the school. The next death is Tatum Riley, and by God, this death has got to be the one that has always bothered me. She gets attacked and she manages to knock the killer down with a fridge door. She could have run out the door to a room full of her friends, but she didn't. She also manages to hold back the killer with beer bottles, and she still doesn't run out the door or scream for help, and she decides to run out the doggy door instead of opening the garage door and running underneath it. My problem is that she could have obviously free through the door, and she didn't look stuck at all. Plus, garage doors are not that strong to pull a human being up. She dies because she didn't call for help or try the door before trying the doggy door. The next death is Kenny the cameraman, and goodness gracious, I do not understand why these people are so freaking careless. They know there is a killer on the loose, and they are not even prepared with a gun. Plus, he's watching the footage of what's going on inside the house, and even though there is a 30-second delay, he should have had a plan of action in case something bad happened. Imagine he sees the 30-second delay and arms himself with a gun. He sees Sydney running at him from the van and comes out with his gun pointing outside in case she's being chased. The final kills are Stu and Billy, and let me just point this out. They are bleeding from their wounds, and Gale Weathers is pointing a gun at them. No matter how crazy Billy is, he wouldn't actually know that the safety is on, and he would not have the strength to wrestle the gun from her. End of movie. Stu would not have died if he didn't try to attack Sydney. Plus, with how much blood he had lost and how woozy he was, I doubt that he had that kind of fight left in him. Same logic goes to Billy. He wouldn't have gotten shot in the head if he didn't try and come back to life one more time for a final scare to attack Sydney. And that's it, folks. I know my claims sound very far-fetched, but the point of the video was not to be factual but to be entertaining. If you think you have a better way for these characters to have survived, leave me a comment below and I'll pick my favorite theory at the top.